This is Hans from Benchmade, and we're going to show him how to sharpen 4V on a Japanese waterstone here. So we showed him on the right side. Now we're going to jump over to the left side here. We're using a 90 watt Chizera 800 grit, left hand, and we're going to help him out. We're going to ghost sharpen with him. Yeah. Kind of like Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost. Exactly. And he's going to be my Demi Moore. Alright, so 45-degree angle. We got the 45 because we're the most stable there. And so we're going to go back and forth here. We focus the pressure with these hands. And we sharpen in sections. So we're starting at this heel area here. And now we're going to go towards the middle. He's going to scoop his fingers up, but bring his fingers down a little bit lower.
And my fingers are like right near the edge there.
Yeah.
Like I can feel the stone actually.
Yeah, you don't want to get them too low because you can just wear your finger pads off. But you want to get them low down there so you're actually, having an effect there at the apex. Now when he comes up here to the bevel, he's going to actually lift the handle.
Same as you would
if you were cutting with the belly. Yeah, a lot of people erroneously, they try to like change the direction. But you need to keep that 45 so you keep it nice and stable.
There we go.
Yeah. And it's just muscle memory. You figure out how high you bring up the handle, just like you would if you were trying to cut on a cutting board. And so now you just go through the same steps.
Go back through?
Just back through, yeah. Because what you're doing is you're not counting passes, you're just going until you get the effect of burr. The burr is what you're looking for, and it's something that's lost on a lot of people. You need to get a burr, that's the only way you can get a knife that's going to be as sharp as possible.
It's kind of zen, man.
It is zen, yeah. So the thing that Hans doesn't realize is that this steel is so hard that it's actually squeezing the stone more than it's actually sharpening it. What you would see if this stone was actually sharpening is black swarf. That's metal filings and stone grit. So what this 64 HRC 4V knife is doing is it's actually just cleaning the stone for us, which is very nice of it. Yeah, so now we're going to stop here, and we're going to jump over to the diamond waterstone, and that's going to be same grit, same color, same company, but it's a diamond abrasive with an extremely hard resin bond, so it doesn't break down like this guy. This guy has dishing problems. So we'll put this one on here. And Hans, let's just go ahead and do the same thing on this side right here. Same left-handed, and we'll kind of try to feel the difference. As you get the hang of it, you can feel something cutting.
Oh, yeah.
And do you feel that kind of, it's less sliding and more of it just kind of cutting on there, you know? So there is a little something to this material science stuff, and then you do have to know a little bit about it to really bring out the best performance. Yeah. So let's come out here towards the tip. Okay. So bring your fingers right where you want to sharpen there. There you go.
And I'm just applying a little pressure.
Just a little bit of pressure, yeah, not too much. And the higher up in grits that you go, you want to use less and less pressure as you go because you don't want to crush and round your edge over. Yeah, so I'm going to come up there just like that. And then just go back through the process there until you basically get the burr. And we're just going to kind of let this free bird fly.
There we go.
We're going to let you fly, birdie. You ready? Out the nest. Oh!
There we go. It's happening.
We're going to count down the seconds until he starts doing something weird.
It's
getting weird, man. Getting weird? Getting weird, dude. All right, we're going to get back on there. Let's get towards this heel area here. We're going to come back in there. And yeah, focus on it. So with this area, remember how I talked about how with this you want to come up?
Yeah.
This is a weird phenomenon. You want to kind of bring it back down. Not so much that you're doing some weird funky angles and put a little woofier at the heel. Just enough so you have positive pressure there at the heel area. Yeah, and then put your fingers right there too to make sure you got it. And then you want to come in right here. Yeah.
You don't want to nick your handle.
No, not the fancy handle. You looking at the person? You nervous? Should.
Yeah.
Scuff it, you bad. No,
that's right. That's a sales technique.
That's a sales technique. I get in the shower and we're doing the scuffle. Cool. So now we'll stop and we'll show Derek how you kind of check for burr because it's not as intuitive as you would think. So what you're feeling is something incredibly subtle, like a whisper in your ear. Like, can I hear something? And that's kind of what you got to tell yourself you're feeling. You want to come completely perpendicular. And you want to feel a lip of metal that's sticking up, and it should feel a little bit furry, granular, like sand. So yeah, just go ahead and give that a feel, completely perpendicular.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the burr.
Little burr.
You did, and you're not going to feel that on the other side, too. So what you also want to do is check on this side. Let's see what kind of bevel you made. And look, it looks nice. And you know why? Because it's super thin behind the... It's super thin behind the edge right there, which means that anybody can look like a pro. The bigger you make the bevel, it becomes difficult. Even for me, I have a hard time getting a perfect bevel. It's all about being even. Any little variation with scuffs and stuff in there. So
it is a beautiful cosmetic gift.
It's gorgeous. You're hired. So now we got to get to the point where we basically sharpen the other side until we get that burr. And usually once you do the first side, the opposite side should be even easier, right? Because it's like cutting a corner. Basically you took something that was domed like this, you cut over. Now with this section from the shoulder, you're just gonna cut that burr. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna guide you, and then I'm gonna let you go because that's your right hand. You're a pro now. So let's wet the stone. And actually, before we get going, the thing about the diamond waterstone is it doesn't dish. It's never going to really wear out, even though it's 1 millimeter of abrasive, because the abrasive is incredibly hard, and the resin bonder is incredibly hard too. You still have to dress it with the coarse 220 grit stone it comes with. You can't use a fine Nagura, because what that does is it helps smooth out the resin into the diamond abrasive. So you need to rough up that resin bonder.
Chemistry here.
It's horrible how obsessed I am with this stuff, dude. That's the worst. So we need to rough up that hard resin bonder to expose the incredibly hard diamond abrasive. I mean, we're
Guys, careful. All I did was say hello to this guy. So, FYI, I'm now sharpening it out. I'm like learning about everything.
bear claws. So let's go ahead and do the right side here. Go ahead and everything I showed you. 45, set the fingers up, start here, up and down. I'll kind of guide you, and then I'm just going to kind of let you go for it. So keep that 45. Now we're going to just let you go.
Freestyle.
How's it feel, dude? You're on your own. Big bird out of a nest.
That's right.
So now I'm going to kind of prompt you to basically
Move it up.
move down. So the blade never leaves the stone, and the fingers never leave the blade. So everything is just a continuous system.
Yeah, okay.
So we need to maintain our angle up here a little bit, right here.
Here we go.
Just must remember, it doesn't. What's more important than the angle number is your angle consistency. A lot of people get way too obsessed about numbers and stuff, but that's not as important because knife makers are wedge makers, and as the wedge wears away, they thicker and thicker. Your angles change how the performance is. A 17-degree bevel, it's going to be different at 20 thousandths behind the edge versus 10 thousandths behind the edge.
Moving on up.
We're moving on up.
Here we go.
We're going to let this puppy fly. I think he's got it.
It's good times.
Freehand. It's like, leave me alone, Dad. We fly. And usually getting out to the belly is pretty tricky.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's an awesome it's an awesome skill to have. You have to sharpen. But it's super perishable and it takes constant practice. But once we get people's hands onto this stuff, I mean, we can teach anybody how to sharpen. You know, they just need to be shown that it's not as difficult as they thought, because it looks super complex and intimidating. And a lot of people are kind of a little snobbish about it. And they don't like to share. They like to look all pro and stuff. But it's actually not that difficult.
Getting out towards the tip now.
Now towards the tip, we're going to lift to get to the tip.
Slight lift out here.
Hans can't see, but when you're from this angle, it's definitely a lot easier to see if your tip is making contact with the stone, because you can see that the shadow is gone. You just have to start to get the feel for it, which you do over time. So now we're going to let him go. There he goes. Notice how his grip is also really close to the blade. You want to have more of a pinch grip. If you're too far away, it's just too wobbly. You can't control as much. So now he's going to work back through and get it back onto the, back to the belly,
Coming back.
lower the angle down,
Coming back.
come back to the straight section on the blade right there. There you go. Good job, Hans.
Feeling good. Feeling good.
Oh, man, are you sure you haven't done this before? You're teaching me.
It's good times.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Relax.
It is, man. Yeah, get back to the heel there, and let's see what we have. Yeah, and you kind of scoop your fingers on there. It's not counterintuitive, but yeah, the blade never leaves the stone, fingers never leave the blade, and I'll show you why in a minute, because it'll all make sense when you see me sharpen. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and pause there. Let's check and see if we have a burr. We got one.
Now I'm going for burrs again and again, like both sides, huh?
We just had to show you that first time there, and well, I just wanted to
I
get
thought I was
routine
taking
of
the burr off this time.
Now we want to take the burr off because we got to burr both sides. So now what we need to do, Hans, is we need to do what's called edge trailing strokes.
Okay.
But that's kind of difficult. What happens when I show people that is they end up doing a different angle every time. So what we're going to do is we are using some pressure to build a burr. We're trying to get rid of a burr. So actually, how you get rid of a burr, it's no secret. You just use light pressure. And that, for whatever reason, only affects that weakened, frayed piece of metal there at the end. That's how you get rid of a burr. I see all kinds of people doing all kinds of goofy stuff like counting passes and stuff. You don't count passes. You know what you're looking for. Nope. So just keep going until you don't have a burr.
So you don't have a burr.
So go ahead and hold it in your right hand.
Oh my gosh.
And so now I'm gonna ghost with you, but I want incredibly light pressure.
Different technique.
We're
now.
doing a
More
different
pressure.
technique now. No pressure.
Oh,
no pressure. Yeah, we're gonna try to get rid of that burr. In fact, we need to start with this side. We're gonna do the same hand because it'll help speed it up. So we're gonna go tip. Start with a tip.
Yeah.
Light pressure.
Oh, I see. I'm just coming around.
I'm almost gonna lift your hand up. Yeah, just to knock it off. But usually the burr never comes off in one pass. So tip to heel, and then we'll alternate. Yeah, so now we'll flip the knife. So we're doing same hand because it would just take forever.
Oh, I see. Same hand.
And so then we'll come back,
Oh, I see. We're going this way. Not
tip
the
to
burr.
heel. Light pressure. I'm also trying to lift up Hans' hand so that he understands.
I wanted to press on there.
Yeah, I got to
Trying to knock it off. Right.
Light pressure. Come back through. And then we're going to come back on this side right here. Light pressure. There you go. So if we think we got it, we then stop and we check. We see if we got the burr off. And you can either feel it on each side. More advanced techniques are seen if you got little bits of burr still on there. If you want to dry. Yeah. You put your thumb on the spine. You can see I've got all these little cuts on my fingertips, right? And what that's from is I'm not actually trying to like lock my fingers off. You don't want to be a dummy. But what you're doing is you're setting the edge on your fingers and then sliding it a little bit to see how it feels. Okay, you're just cutting the dead skin at your very finger pads.
For a little bit of grab, or what are you looking for?
You're looking for something that bites you right on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're just looking for something where if you feel it, your brain tells you to stop. That's what Murray Carter says. This is some Murray Carter 3-finger edge test, by the way. But there's a little more subtleties and details we can add to this, actually. So you can also feel if you have a burr by setting your fingers on the edge right there, and it feels granular, like kind of little granulars of sand, and that's what you know you got a burr that's straight up, and that we still need to go on there. If we're feeling on there, it doesn't bite us right on, and it feels smooth, we've crushed the edge, we've had too much angle inconsistency, and it's rounded and smooth the edge out. So that's no good either. A lot of people, they'll show me edges, and they're like, this is the sharpest thing I've ever had. It's a beautiful bevel, but they've actually rounded the edge off doing that. Due to, doing all the different grits. They do like 50 different stones, the 100 grit, the 200 grit, the 300 grit. And what that ended up doing is rounding out their edge too much. So it wasn't good. Yeah, so you want to do as few stones as possible to get the effect you're looking for. Certain grit finishes for the best for certain uses. And also you want to make sure you got an edge where you can feel it. It bites you right on. You've got no burr. Yeah, let's go ahead and try. Be careful. All right, yeah, I don't want you. So if you set it on there, slide it with no pressure, because the cutting comes with sliding.
Yeah, my brain's telling me danger zone.
Yeah, it's telling you danger zone. Yeah, the problem with this test is some people's brains don't work that way. So it should,
burrs, man.
you should feel something granular. That's what I'm feeling when I felt that. It takes a little practice. You have to sharpen at least, 50 knives to really get the feel of it. And there's always going to be a little bit of difficulties with it.
49 mark. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we still got some burr on there. If you want to go ahead and take that on there and do just what I showed you. I know, dude. I'm at 64 inches.
All right, so am I taking burr off?
You're taking burr off. You got to use
pressure.
no pressure. Yeah, you got to keep going until we get the burr off because there's still a little bit of burr on. So if you mess up at this step, you can crush your edge. You have to redo. Yeah, you'd have to redo it all over again. So it's very stressful. You want to make sure you take your time. Alternate every time.
Every single time.
Every single time. And do the same hands. You speed up the process. Yeah, if you're switching hands every time, it just takes too long. Yeah, so then we come in here. Yeah. And straight. Your angle's actually a little bit higher. Yeah, there we go. Come in on this side. Yep, switch. We want to get you to the point where you're just able to do this without my instruction. And it just takes muscle memory. It takes practice. It's very counterintuitive. What you just did right there is what everybody has a tendency to do. Even me, you try to scoop out like that. And what that does is it rounds the edge back here. So when you come off, make sure that when you come through here, you stop and lift. Yeah, or you just come straight off the stone. Some people try to flick. Yeah, we try to nip that in the bud, man, because that'll set you back. You can wonder why your edges aren't that sharp. You start doing a KME or something. Coming through here, angles up, and then remember what I told you, you gotta make sure you got positive contact at the end there. And so the burr removal actually comes from just this motion. So if you're
5 minutes,
tapping
we're going to have another demonstration.
And then also when you start deburring,
It's going to be
the burr will
sharpening
come
of
off depending on what
knives.
the steel composition is, and a tea tree.
You wonder why you don't cut yourself with your knives in the kitchen?
Strips, things like that,
Well,
or it's just too stubborn.
learn how to sharpen
so what I
a
took
knife.
right there. Little
Let
granules
more.
of sand, it's actually bits
We'll
of
give that
metal.
presentation.
Yeah. So that lets you know you're on
Demonstration.
track. Yeah.
Sharpening
So let's go ahead and
a knife.
continue. You're on this side now. I'm sorry, I'm at this side. Your other side.
One of the sides. I had a 50-50 shot at that one.
Come in here.
Get that. And lifting off.
Yep, lifting off. Then we'll come to this side. Make sure that heel makes contact. Make sure you have enough room there to get the upward motion. Kind of feel manual right there. Yeah, we're feeling some work coming off. Yeah, so you just kind of keep it going, stopping and checking. It can be tedious to learn all this stuff, but if you keep track of all these little details, they all add up, and you'll be making better edges than me, I swear. No big deal.
All right. Just trying to knock off that last burr here.
Yeah, just that last little bit. But in fact, here's kind of a cool technique too. So we'll have Hans check on some paper here. Let's go ahead and try that off. I'm gonna sneak by you. Paper's a good test, but you got to be looking for stuff. I know people, they want the phone book paper and stuff because, yeah, that definitely shows you how polished your edge is, how well it cuts. But if you're observant, you can see what the edge is and not doing. So we come in here at an angle so we have all this real estate we can use. And yeah, we can make any knife not cut if we're not holding the paper rigid. So it's kind of stupid, but there's a little technique to cut the paper. So we come over here, we fold the paper over to keep it rigid, and we see Hans made a sharp knife. And the sharper the knife, you can do little changes in direction because that lets you know that you've got a push cutting edge that relies on both a slice ability and as well as the ability to just go straight into something. So that's why 800 grit is important, because we can go lower in grit, but we don't have this clean push cutting ability to do the curves in the paper. So he can actually improve this edge a little bit more by doing what's called stropping. And we'll move this stuff out of the way here.
Mega strop here.
We got the mega strop here. I think we'll use the smaller strop actually that I have set up over here. So I'll get behind you. Pull the stropper out here.
Got a little paddle strap on
There she is. This actually isn't bare leather. This is loaded up with 1 micron diamond spray. You got to shake it up before you put it on there. It's about 16, 20,000 grit, depending on what grit scale you use, but it doesn't actually finish our 800 grit to a 16,000 grit. It just helps refine the teeth that we have on there, because 800 grit's still going to have some teeth on there. The smaller strop, we'll just set that on top there, Hans. And this is just like spreading jam on toast. You know, you don't want to cut the strop because it's leather. So you got to make sure, remember that technique I showed you for deburring?
Yeah.
You pass that on to this right here. Just use light pressure.
Don't round. Make sure to pull
So, but there's abrasive to this. It's not raw leather because the bare leather doesn't really have that much of an effect. Maybe for a straight razor, that gets back to geometry. You'd have to be about 1,000 behind the edge to really see an effect with bare leather. Yep, just like that. Look, he's going to be teaching me some. Yeah, this is awesome. Dude, 'cause I'm tired. I don't want to sharpen.
Spent a lot of time sharpening, huh, bud?
Yeah, you're pretty much pro level now.
Dude, we're going crazy with this edge.
We're going crazy, dude. There's gonna be like Benchmade waterstones coming out here pretty soon.
How much for the axe?
Never. I brought that out because I wanted people to see the Basque axe because nobody has one here.
Oh, okay.
But these are my favorites. My pride and joy.
Nice.
Yeah. You can see they're all used up, so they're not even shiny and new. You know, I'm wrecking them.
How many passes each of you
You're
do?
good. Let's go ahead and stop there. Usually you don't want to go above 4 to 8 passes because you can put at risk of rounding your edge. Some people disagree though, but you know, it's always so go ahead and hold the paper. Make sure it's not the wet paper down here. We got the dry paper right here. And he's going to tension the paper. We're going to start the cut up here and come down. So you have all this real estate to work with. Go slow. You guys can't tell on camera because it's super noisy, but it's a little bit quieter. It gives you a little bit more of a push cutting ability.
This is like a very clean cut, man.
Yeah, it's sharp. Yeah, and it's a hard steel, 64 HRC. Kind of the generalized rule is that the harder the steel, the keener the edge. So that's why you want to go as hard as possible if the steel can handle it. And if you have the geometry to expose it. So there's a lot to it. Yeah. We attacked Hans. We're talking his ear off, but he's gotten a cool knife. He's sharpening now. No big deal.
Times.
Yeah.
Appreciate the lesson,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, right on, dude. Right on.
Rad.
Yeah. All right, take it easy, guys. Later, Hans.